Hello, everyone, and welcome to Odoo Live. My name is Rodrigo Torres. I'm the sales manager for Channel and Enterprises here at Odoo San Francisco, and I will be your host for today's webinar. Today, I'm joined by our developer here at Odoo, Jigar Amin, and we will be discussing about Odoo.sh. Thanks for joining us, Jigar.
Sure, and thank you for having me. Today's presentation will be 40 minutes. We'll be talking about Odoo.sh, and which will be followed by 20-minute Q&A session.
Great. Through the presentation, we will be answering your questions in the YouTube chat. Any questions that are left, Jigar will help me to get them at the end of the session during our Q&A session. If you would like to view this webinar again, simply access to the link on the video and watch it anytime once the live event has finished. Thanks again, everyone, to joining us. Let's get started with this webinar. Jigar, they are all yours.
All right, thank you so much. Let's begin. So today we'll be talking about Odoo.sh. That's the newest offering that we have at Odoo. Odoo.sh is about Odoo platform itself. Odoo.sh is a self-hosted platform where we offer Odoo pre-optimize and install for you guys. While Odoo.sh is a full stack cloud platform with the parallel staging, production, and testing environments running at the same time. While at the same time, Odoo.sh also offers quite a number of features. So let me go through those features. The features that are that you can see on my screen as well right now are GitHub integration. So what is GitHub integration? So Odoo.sh platform is 100% integrated with GitHub. That means we can communicate with your GitHub and we can get the code. We can run the continuous integration. That is also one of the feature. What is continuous integration? So continuous integration is actually a very good tool where very good feature actually, where developers do commit their code and Odoo.sh platform will be able to pull the source code automatically, run the test cases, and build it and give results to the developer towards the end, or give results to the tester that what is the result of their work. Or project managers also will have a realistic overview of what is going on with their project, so they will be able to understand it more clearly. Apart from that, Odoo.sh also offers a log viewing, mail catcher, you can have your own custom modules, and so on and so forth. There are so many features that we'll talk like in our session today. Apart from that, Odoo.sh also facilitates both of the two good worlds. So both of the two good world are, what are two good world that I'm talking here? So first, we have right now Odoo.sh, which is where you can go to online, you can subscribe, you can have a current version of Odoo running, and you can have your own Odoo instance running on ERP platform, and you can start using them. And that, so Odoo Online has limitations, and it has certain limitations and it has certain advantages. So what are the advantages of using Odoo Online? Odoo Online has advantages like you have a 99.9% uptime. Also, you have features like you can access it anywhere you want. You can have mobile applications, so forth. You don't have to worry about maintenance. There's a lot of benefits of using this Odoo Online thing. That is offered by Odoo, but the disadvantage of this is you cannot have your custom apps. So you can do a lot of development, you can do heavy customization, but there is no development. That there is no custom apps that you can put on Odoo Online's. While there is another offering that is Odoo Enterprise. On Odoo Enterprise, what you can do is you can have your custom apps, you can have your custom apps installed, you can modify Odoo the way you like, and you host it by yourself. So there are a lot of advantages of having Odoo Online versus Odoo Enterprise, or Odoo Enterprise has many advantages where you host it by yourself and you have full control on it. But having Odoo Enterprise also adds added complexity of having a specialized Postgres expert, or you need a specialized infrastructure experts to maintain everything. A lot of our partners recently do not have expertise in these areas. They do have a lot of very good developers who can customize ERP for the end users, but they do not have system admin, or they do not have people with the Postgres expertise. They do not have people with the expertise of web servers, and they cannot maintain it. A lot of time, I usually work with the professional services more, and a lot of time we do We do face problems like customer don't know how their Odoo is installed, do they have backup or no, and there are a lot of different complexity towards that, and they are unaware of all this complexity. So they're good and they're bad in the both side. But then how do we solve this problem? So the Odoo.sh offers the solutions to this problem. Odoo.sh offers middle ground to both problems. It also Odoo.sh is online ERP Odoo self. It is already hosted, and at the same time it also offers customizations. You can have custom apps from our app store. For example, we have a very good community which is called OCA, Odoo Community Association, who has a wide range of customized ERP application actually. So if you want to use them, you can use them very easily. Odoo.sh makes it using of those applications very easy. You can just you can have copy and paste the URL and you can have that app in matter of seconds. While if you do this on the enterprise, it can be very complex to get those modules hosted by yourself and get them tested and so forth. So there is a lot of complexity getting those modules by yourself and hosting them on enterprise, while Odoo.sh makes this job very easy. It makes it very simple. And there are a lot of different advantages that we will discuss again during our session.
Okay.
Again, now I want to start I want to start towards the point that when it comes to project management, right? Project management has a lot of different users involved. Like there is project managers, there is testers, there is developers, there is system admins. So there is a lot of different people who are involved in this project management. When it comes to project management, when you want to ERP for somebody. So Odoo.sh does offer tools that basically covers everybody's need at one platform. So how to use Odoo.sh and how does these different roles usually will help implementing or making this project happen for your customer or for end users that you are serving, right? So let's begin with Odoo. So let me make a demo of this and let me try to show how to use this platform, right? So let's begin with the job of a project manager, right? If I'm a project manager and if I bought Odoo.sh, I get Odoo.sh, and when you start your Odoo.sh, you will get one subscription code that will be required by you to start Odoo.sh. So once you buy your Odoo.sh, you land on this screen. You go to Odoo.sh and you start your project. So to start your project, first you gotta log in to your Odoo.sh using GitHub. Now Odoo for now is only integrated with the GitHub. We only provide a GitHub integration. We do not provide any other integration as of now, but in future moving forward, we are planning to do so. So we will have more CSM applications like Bitbucket or probably GitLabs, or I don't know. I mean, we don't have any names that I can tell you that we are working on right now, but definitely we will moving forward. We'll have more SCM that you can use with Odoo. But as of now, we only have github.com.
Okay.
And your account has to be signed up with a github.com only. So you click on a sign in. When you click on a sign in, it will take you to the GitHub. You log into your GitHub and you see the screen, right? This screen says that, okay, Odoo.sh wants to access your personal data as well as your repository. Now, the good thing about Odoo.sh is Odoo.sh can read your public as well as private repository as long as you allow them. Mm-hmm. And you need to allow them because those are the must access right to have to run Odoo.sh correctly for you. So you just say authorize Odoo. You authorize Odoo on one step, and then you land on the screen, right? When you land on this, ideally, when you are doing it for first time, you will land on this screen says deploy your platform. So you said deploy your platform. You authorize that. So first was about logging in. You created our login. You created your login in Odoo.sh using GitHub. Okay. Now, when you start a new project, it asks, okay, do you want us to authorize using your repository using webhooks? So what is webhooks and services? So GitHub.com does provide APIs. And mm-hmm. we have integration with the GitHub.com using this webhook and services. So those are the access right that is required to be able to start your project. So you just say authorize Odoo. And once you authorize your Odoo, next screen that you will land with this screen where you say, okay, do you want to you want to start your project, right? So you want to start your project, you say GitHub repository. Do you want to create new repository or do you want to use existing repository? So what is the difference? So new repository is you are creating a new project and you want to start new GitHub repository and you want to maintain this project separately on the GitHub, right? So you say you want to start a new repository and you can start new repository. While if you already have a repository that you are working, so if you have existing customer and you want to bring that customer to Odoo.sh and you already have a repository that you want to use where you have already code committed. So you can say, okay, I want to use existing repository with Odoo modules. You can click drop down, and if you have any existing repository that can be open and that can be used, it will automatically show down here. Now remember, if your GitHub repository is already used one time, then you cannot use it again. So your GitHub repository can be used with one project only as of now. All right, so let's start a new project. I want to start a new project, right? And today I want to create example of Open Academy. So this is Open Academy is a simple example where this is one organization that it's like Coursera or Udemy, where you have different courses and you can go and subscribe and so on and so forth. If you follow Odoo's documentation, this example is very well explained. So I advise you to go to odoo.com/documentation/creating a 11.0 and creating a module will help you over there. So I'm just creating same example down here, and I can choose Odoo version. So what Odoo version I want to use? I want to use version 10, version 11. So as of now on Odoo.sh, you can only use version 10 and version 11. You only have two LTS version that can be hosted on Odoo.sh. There's no other version of Odoo that can be hosted on Odoo.sh. But of course, moving forward, when we will release a new LTS version, for example, let's say 12.0, if and when we release, we will also enable that for Odoo.sh. So you choose your version, and then you choose a server. Like where do you want your Odoo.sh to be hosted? As of now, we do support hosting of Odoo.sh in 3 regions across the globe: Americas, Europe, and Asia. We have partnered with the different providers, and these providers do facilitate us their infrastructure. And through them we are able to host you to the location that you choose. So let's say I want to start with Americas, and then whenever you subscribe for Odoo.sh, what you will get is you will get a subscription code, and that is required. So let me get my subscription code. So you will have a subscription code. So for example, if Rodrigo is selling enterprise to you, right?
Yes.
He will provide you the subscription code, right? And that is required for Odoo.sh. So you will need your subscription code. So I'm just entering my subscription code down here. Here I have entered my subscription code in case when you start your own Odoo.sh,
Exactly.
they are required to enter their own Odoo.sh subscription code.
So it has to be a valid subscription code of Odoo Enterprise. And also, I understand that it has to be included the line of Odoo.sh,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
In order to have access to this platform.
That's correct. You have to have Odoo.sh on your account. So if you want to use Odoo.sh as a partner, you gotta make sure that you talk to your account manager and he facilitates this for you.
Exactly. So all the people here in the sales department, we can help our customers to get the access to that.
Exactly.
Right.
Once they have a code, they put a code, and of course, very good incentive for partners that partners can have unlimited Odoo.sh instance as of now, right?
That's correct. That's correct. It's one of the benefits of for the partners.
Exactly. So yeah, partners, you get your subscription code today and you can start using Odoo.sh right away. Let's say you don't want to put anybody on the production as of now, but I advise you to just go and start testing. This saves a lot of time, and you will understand why. So I just say I want to create new repository. I want to use this version. I add my subscription code. I choose my hosting location. I say deploy. Now, in a matter of seconds and matter of few minutes, actually, your whole platform will be ready. We will go to GitHub. We will pull your GitHub. We'll pull your project, right? And then we'll start building the first branch itself from your GitHub. So when at the end of this process, right? If I go to my GitHub, I will have on my GitHub account, I will have a new repository created because I said I want to start a new project. So I will have a new repository created. Under my repository, I will have a new branch that is master. And because there's a master is a default branch, as you could see, Odoo has already started building a master branch, right?
Okay.
So that is how you start. That is how you start your project. Once you finish creating a project, you will land on this screen. The screen has a lot of different things that I'll explain. A lot of different features and how to use them. I'll explain them as we move forward. So now we know how to create a project. Once you have a project, next thing you want to do is you want to create a production branch.
Okay.
Right?
Given that you are in that screen right now, in that view, can you explain us, because we are seeing that we have three different environments there. We have a production environment, a staging environment, and a development environment. And I understand that you can move your branch from one stage to other. But can you explain us a little bit the difference between all those stages?
Sure. I mean, it's a really good question actually, because those different stages has a different meaning and they're used for different purpose and they have different behavior. So it's very important to understand them. So before we begin this, let me start a new production branch, right? And once I start, I'll just move it, and then we'll come to that question, right? So first thing that I want to do is I want to start my production branch, or probably you want to name, like you want to give a version name moving forward, because let's say if tomorrow you want to move to version 12.0, right? And if you want to use the same branch, right? Then I mean this could be useful. So let's say or you want to move this branch somewhere else. So giving version names whenever you are creating branch can be useful. Or else it's okay if you don't do that. You just say production, hit enter. When you hit enter, what it will do is it will create a new branch and it will start building that branch automatically. And you will also notice that on my GitHub, I will have a new branch register which is called production. So creating a branches from here is basically you are manipulating your GitHub account, GitHub repository directly from your Odoo.sh, which allows you creation of a branch, deletion of a branch, and so on and so forth. So I have a production environment, and once I have production environment built, I will move my project to the production. Now, the question that you had, Rodrigo, was about production, staging, and development. So what are the difference? What are those stages? So development is a stage where you can have as many branches as you like. You can have multiple branches hosted in the development, which enables multiple developers to work on multiple features. They have their own branches and they can keep developing continuously, simultaneously keep developing their branches, and they keep committing their code, and their development code goes into development branches. You can have as many development branches as you like. Then you have staging. So staging, before I explain staging, let me explain production, because staging has to do with the production. So production is the production branch. So let's say you want to go live and you want to put your customer into production environment, and they want to start using production system, ERP system. So what you do is you just go to your branch that you want to move to production. You go to branch and you choose a branch, and you will see these three icons coming up. You just click on it. You just drag that and you put it into production. So it's as simple as that. You just drag and drop. Once you drag and drop, your project will be automatically moved into production right away. So I just gotta refresh to make sure my changes are applied correctly. I'm sorry, my internet is taking a bit load time. Right, my apology for the delay. Internet is just taking some time right now. Right. So while it's loading, let me continue explaining what I was explaining. So what I was explaining was when you move your branch to the production, your branch immediately moves to the production, and it immediately goes to the production, and then your customer can start using the URL. On the URL, it will be hosted, and they can start using this. Okay. So the thing that I was explaining, what is difference between production and what is difference between staging and development. So development is development. I just explained. You can have n number of branches. Production is just a production live environment where your customer will be using your live environment. And the third, you have staging. So a staging branch is what? It's a staging branch that basically sits between production and development. testing branch will always have a database with a demo data installed.
Okay.
While when you move your production, when you move your branch from staging to when you decide to move your let's say when you decide to move your project from staging to the production, right?
Yes.
What does happen is Odoo will start a fresh database.
Oh, okay.
All right, it will start a fresh database without demo data installed.
Mhm.
So you have plain database to begin, you have plain slate to work with, and you can start working on. You can start installing the app. You just click on a connect button, and then you connect to the database that you want to connect, and then you can just start using that. Then you can just start using that,
Okay.
right? While what is staging then? Staging is development is a branch that sits between production and development, while staging is a duplicate of the production.
Okay.
So every time when you have a staging branch, it actually makes a duplicate of the production,
Okay.
and it and then you can go and install your apps, your custom apps that is on that branch.
Okay.
So it is a duplicate of the production, but the difference is in the staging branch you cannot send emails outside. Your all emails will be cached by the mail catcher.
The mail catcher.
Yes.
Okay.
So your emails will be cached in a mail
The
catcher.
mail catcher is like an emulator of the email service,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
The inbound and outbound.
Exactly. So it's outbound emulator actually. So when
okay.
you send the email outside Odoo, what happens is Odoo will not send email to the customer.
Correct.
So it will avoid spamming customer with your test emails.
Mhm.
It will catch all those emails into mail catcher, and if you all those emails that you send for testing purpose will be catch into mail catcher like this, right?
Mhm.
And then this way you can keep testing whatever you want to test, and you avoid spamming your customer. While when you are in a production, the production would actually would send a real email to a real customer, because it's a real world transaction that is
Mhm.
happening in customer's database. While again, testing is just a testing branch which with the demo data.
Okay.
You do whatever you want to do in those branches. Again, this branch has mail catcher,
yes.
so that it does not send emails outside, and development branch do not have backup. So if you paid close attention, there's a backup tab on production and staging, but development does not have that.
Okay.
That means in the development you cannot have backups. Why you cannot have backups? Because development branches are development branches.
Yes.
They have a shorter life cycle. They are recycled very often because developers do make a change and they commit things very often, and things keep going. It's ongoing thing.
It's
So-
always developing.
Yeah.
in
so
development stage.
it always keep evolving. So
Okay.
there is no point of doing backup of those ones.
Once that you create a new branch in development stage, and then you move it to production, it will create automatically the other branch in the staging, or you need it to create it manually
So
to make the copy.
when you for the staging you don't need to make a new copy. What you can do is you can take the branch. So let's say I have this development branch, right?
Yeah.
And I want to deploy the changes on this branch into staging, right? I can just click and drag and click here and says, do you want to merge this branch into staging?
Oh,
so
okay.
you merge a change for your development branch into staging. So your changes will committed in the GitHub, and you will get those changes in your staging branch. When this happens, what Odoo will, when I click this, what Odoo will do is Odoo will start merging it, right?
Okay.
And it will make a new build. As you could see in this build section, it will make a new build, and that build will be a copy of a production.
Oh, gotcha.
It's the latest copy of the production when you do that operation.
Great.
So, and one thing that you also need to, as a project manager, you need to understand that the environment of production and the staging is on the same server, while the development servers are completely different.
Completely different,
Because
okay.
people may screw up very easily during development, and we don't want your bad codes or bad developers' mistake to affect your production server. So
Yes.
they are kept very separate.
Okay.
While staging and production are running on the same server, they're accessing the same file system, but they're accessing different things. They're not accessing exact same piece of code, or they're not accessing exact same piece of database.
Okay.
They have different databases that they're accessing.
And that is good for performance and also for,
Yes,
for
yes.
managing some security levels, right? In
Exactly.
regards
Yeah.
to-
It keeps both environments separate,
Yeah.
and it keeps your development clean, and it keeps your production clean, and there's no. We make sure there is no interruption
Great.
between servers,
Great. Great. Great.
right?
Awesome.
So once you have the branch, let's say I have production branch and I want to move my production branch in. I have production branch and I want to move it to production. So I just drag and drop, and I have production branch.
Good, good.
When this happens, what Odoo will do is Odoo will install. It will create a new database with a demo, simply, without demo data installed. So it creates an empty database. Right, so that's how you create a new project, that's how you create a new branch, and that's how you move your database to the production. Right, once you have all of this, once you have your installation is finished, what you can do is you can start connecting database. So let's say I already have master branch which is build, and I want to connect to the master branch. So if I want to connect to master branch, I just click connect, and there you go. I just connect to some things that is just installed.
Exactly.
Right, so that's pretty straightforward. You create a project, and then you create a new branch. You move branch into production. Once your build is finished, you will be able to. You will have, once this is finished over here, as you can see on my screen. Once this start building is finished, you will have connect button, and then you can connect.
Okay.
Now, make a note that when you connect to your SH instance for first time, it will take a minute or it will take a half minute or so to load the whole infrastructure, because the way this works in the background is every build has its own private container.
Okay.
So they run in their own private environment. So when you connect for first time, the whole system will boot up for you.
Okay.
And that's why it takes few seconds to load. Once that is done, you will be able to use use your system just
So
normally.
Every branch is a container.
Exactly.
A separate container from the others.
Exactly.
There's a limit of how many containers or how many branches you can have in every stage?
I mean, in a production, you can have only one branch.
Only one? Okay.
Yeah, in a development, you can have as many branches as you like. And staging can also have multiple branches depending on your contract. Sometimes for certain contract, there are only 3 branches allowed in, while for certain contract, you can have as many branches as you like.
Gotcha.
So you can have multiple branches. It depends on what is your contract.
Your needs and the type of contract that you have.
Exactly.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so that is a simple creating a branch once your branch is ready. And also one thing that you need to make sure you need to understand that production will always have one build. You cannot have multiple build in the production, because why? Because that's your live database. Your live database can be only one. You cannot have multiple live database. While if you see in the development, right? If I see in the development, I can have multiple instances. I can click rebuild over here, and I can have another instance of my master running in parallel. So while in the production, I will always have one instance running. The moment you create a new build onto production, the last build will be discarded.
Okay.
But of course, your URL will remain as same. Right. So that is creating a new project, starting a new branch. Then you have build. Build is what? This is a continuous integration tool where developers will come and will commit the things, and the system will automatically pull the code using a webhooks from the GitHub, and then it will automatically run the test over here. As you could see, when I click a rebuild, it automatically started creating everything. It started creating new build, and it started creating a build, and then it will install certain modules based on the configuration that you have, which I'll just show. Then you have a new tab called status. Status tab is what? It is a continuous monitoring of the platform. You can see what is the availability of my server. This is production, this is master server, this is production server, this is development server, and this is backup servers, and then the mail servers. And of course, Odoo.sh instance come with the email integration in build. So with Odoo.sh, you actually do not need your own email servers.
Yeah.
If you don't have.
Okay.
You just keep using it, and we do offer email services.
And this has been monitoring in real time, right?
Yeah, it is in real time.
Yeah,
So
and for those who are maybe wondering about the SLA that we manage in this platform, let me tell you that it's the same SLA that we manage for Odoo Online. We normally warranty an availability uptime for 99.9% the whole time. And you can see it there, right?
Right. So it's, as of now, I just started. This is 100% because I just started. But if I have some other project that I could pull, so I have another project right here that has been running from many days. So which will give me statistics of many days, because this is running from many weeks now. So it shows me, this is the statistics of many weeks.
Yeah.
So in 1 month, I have 99.49% uptime because this project is older than 1 month as of now.
Exactly.
So
and
this
it has
shows
been in a
you-
test in a beta environment.
Yeah, it is in a production as well. It is in a production. It is in a staging as well.
Exactly.
So this instance has that uptime. So it follows SLA, and then you can monitor your availability of the instance. And the last step that you see is the settings.
Okay.
So when you start your database, when you move your database into production, what happens is you create. Odoo will give you a production URL. So you can choose your production URL from here. So when I click on this branch, and if I go to my master, and if I connect to my master branch, right, my master branch over here, let's say the one that I just created on my master branch has this URL which says that I fixed that openacademy.odoo.com. That is because that is my URL, right? But if I wish to change this URL, I can always go there and I can change this, and I can, if this subdomain on odoo.com is available, you can go and reserve this subdomain. So I can just click save a change, and then the whole container will refresh automatically, and then it will apply those changes, and next time when you connect, your URL will be set to openacademy.odoo.com. So you can choose the domain that you wish to choose with Odoo.sh for your production URL. Then there's a collaborator. So collaborator is, let's say, if there are multiple people working in your team, and you want multiple people to have access to your platform, you can invite them. So let's say if I invite some of my colleague over here, then I can just give his GitHub username, and I can invite him, and then I can choose his access right. Is he a user or is he an admin? User and admin has a different access right. The user will not have access to the settings tab. So you can choose what kind of access that you want to grant. So let's say this user is admin, and I grant him admin access right. So that's how you can add as many collaborators to your project as you wish. And those users will again have to go to GitHub, log in with the GitHub. Once they log into GitHub, their Odoo.sh in their projects, they will have this card appearing because you already have granted them an access. They will be able to see the same card, and they will be able to connect to the Odoo.sh with the access right.
Okay, great.
Then you have public access. So what is public access? So if you want to, let's say you want somebody to connect, you want your partners, customers, or you want your testers to connect to the different development branches, right? And you want them to have access to the different development branches, but you don't want to give them access to Odoo.sh, right? Whole platform, but you want them to access their branches. Then you can create a public access URL. So you just create public access URL, and what this does is, as it suggests in a public access, that you can have public page of build. So this page will go public. So when I open this incognito, and if I try to connect to that page, this page is right now accessible publicly, and everybody can go and click connect and can connect to the platform itself. So I can control availability of my whole platform by having public access URL. Then module installation. So when you create a new database, or when you start a new database, what is the default applications that you want to install on your database? That can be configured over here. So let's say you want to install all my modules. All my modules is what? It goes to your GitHub repository that we just created, and it installs only those modules from your GitHub repository. And also, of course, it will install all the dependent module of your modules from the GitHub repository. Then you have full installation. That means you can install every single app, same as a runbot. Most of you might be aware that you can go to the runbot and you can connect to the different versions of Odoo, and you can click connect and you can connect to the runbot. So which can also be facilitated if you wish to facilitate that as a partner, for example. And then let's say you only want to install a specific application every time the new build happens. Of course, not the production, except production. This is usually applied for first time production, and every time when you make a development branch. So you can say sale, purchase, and you can give all the module names in a comma separated way, and then you can choose. Then you can set up custom domains. Let's say you have e-commerce. So for example, for Open Academy, I have my own domain called openacademy.com. And I want to redirect my openacademy.com to openacademy.odoo.com.
Yes.
Then I can just add my domain over here, and then you just follow Then you just add a CNAME on your domain using
Yes.
your DNS provider, and that's all.
Yeah, you just need to go to configure this in,
Exactly.
in your register.
Exactly. You
to
just create
manage
a
your
CNAME or
forwarding to. Okay, perfect.
domain forwarding, and then that just do the things.
Great.
So you can do that. Submodules is what, let's say, if there are a lot of different good providers that is available in the Odoo world. For example, Odoo OCA is Odoo Community Association, who has thousands of good apps, and you want to use them, right? And they are maintaining that GitHub repository very well. So for example, if I go to, I have one here, like for example, if I want to say, I want to use OCA website, right? So OCA website, they have this module and I want to use them, right? So these modules can directly be used in your Odoo.sh just by giving GitHub the sub modules.
Okay.
So you can have your sh point to that GitHub, and you can use them directly. So you can have multiple sub modules added to your project right away.
Okay.
Which you are not maintaining, which is maintained by you or your partner, or maybe by somebody else.
Okay.
You just make a pointer to the website.
And I understand that's another reason why we're using GitHub for
Exactly.
for this project, because in GitHub, Odoo is one of the largest publishing projects, not either only by us, but also by the community
Exactly.
other third-party
Right.
developers, right?
That's correct. That's one of the prime reason of doing that.
So we have a lot of code there.
Yeah, there's a lot of code. We have around, I guess, if we go to apps.odoo.com/apps, you will find thousands of apps over there.
Perfect.
So those, if they have GitHub URL, you just put those GitHub URL and you can start in like matter of seconds.
Yeah, because of the powerful integration
Exactly,
that we have.
yeah. Because of the GitHub has a full integration with Odoo.sh.
Great, awesome.
All right. So that is how you can have a new project, new branches. You can start the production right away. You can choose your URLs. You can have access to the developers if you want to grant access to the developers. If you want to create public URL, of course you can create public URL as well. And you can have different level of access by having different security mechanism that is over there. All right. So this is purely for project managers, right? If I'm project manager, if I want to manage my branches, if I want to manage my development, and if I want to manage access to the users, this is how I will do. Then there is another kind of user that usually has a very heavy influence on the project management, that is the developers, right? So if I'm a developer and if I want to create a new module on this GitHub, right? This is my GitHub, and I want to start a new module. So I go here on the branch, and let's say I want to create a new branch. Let's say 10.0. Let's say Open Academy. Let's say 001. Like this is first module that I want to create, right? So I start this Open Academy 001, and I want to create the module over here. So it's pretty easy to actually. This is very fast for developers as well. And the good thing is, developer do not need access to the platform. You just, as a project manager, you can create just a branch, right? And you can say, okay, you start committing this branch, and it will automatically, Odoo will automatically know that because there's a branch and somebody commits in there, Odoo will automatically SH will automatically pull this code and will build it for you. So I go to my branch, and what I will do is I'll make a clone of this branch. So let me go to my my local. As a developer, I'm going to my terminal, and if I say git clone, and I make a clone of my repository, I go there, and then I let me check out to my branch. So I wanna check out my this branch, and then I want to create a new module, right? So if I want to create a new module, I will usually, in my Odoo.bin, I will have scaffold. It's a great utility. I just say scaffold, and then I say, okay, I want to create a module, and I want to put this module under Open Academy, and I want to name it Open Academy, and the folder Open Academy, right? And I just hit enter, right? And this will create a module. So if I go to my my branch now, I have a module, and cd Open Academy, and if I go in there, my module is created, and then I can start working on this. I can say in the models I have a controller, so I have some model pre-created, so I can see this is the model that is pre-created. This is the piece of code that is pre-created, right?
Great.
So it's So let's say I have this module and I want to, my module is ready, I want to commit this module, right? It's very simple. You just say git add, right? And then you just git commit them as if you are just committing regularly. There is no difference, right? You just say add, you just say added app, your whatever message that you want to give, and then you just push your origin to Open Academy. You just want to push your changes to the GitHub directly.
To GitHub, okay.
Yep. So you just give me a quick second over here. Let me authenticate myself. As you can see, this is like secured everywhere. Like if you are working with the GitHub, GitHub provides the security. Odoo does work with the GitHub, so Odoo also provides GitHub's same security that is facilitated by GitHub. So if I go to my GitHub now, as you will see that on my branch, I just committed something. So if I go to my commits, in my commits, I just added an app, right? My app is just added. So if I go...
So any change that you're making in Odoo.sh, it will be reflected immediately, right?
Exactly.
In your GitHub.
Exactly.
That's
so
wonderful.
Exactly. So as you can see on my screen, I just committed something, right? And Odoo, because there's a webhook, any changes that happens on GitHub, Odoo.sh will be immediately notified.
Yeah.
And when Odoo.sh is immediately notified, it will go and pull the latest code and it will build it for you.
Oh, great.
And in this new build, it will install the apps that you have selected. All the apps that you have selected. So if you say I want to install only my custom app, it will install custom app. If you said I want to install XYZ app, it will install XYZ app.
Okay.
So it will install applications based on what you commit. So likewise, you can keep working on this one as you go. So this is a continuous integration that you can work work directly with. So that is the power of that is very powerful tool for developers, right? And the second thing is you do not need your developers to have access to this one, because let me open my existing one of the databases that I have in a I'm sorry, my internet is just still slow.
We're
it's just
having a slow connection right now in this very
office.
Moment. But one of the things that maybe I would like to ask you is you were showing a view in which you showed all your builds, right? I understand that you can have a public access to that build, in order to create like a runbot. Can you explain a little bit the concept of a runbot and why is that important for developer and even for testing users?
Exactly.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, so that's what I was going to. So when the developers commit something and they want to see what are my changes, how are my changes, what does it look,
like
how does
the
it look
effect,
like? Exactly.
Like the effect
they want to see the
change.
result, right? So when you want to see the result, what happens is, what you can do is you can directly go to your build, which you can have public URL. If there is no public URL, you can create a public URL, and they can simply, once their build is ready, which will take a few minutes, right? Once they commit, it will take 2 or 3 minutes to finish the build. Once the build is finished, they can just go in there and just click connect.
Okay.
And they can start working on it. So it can be pretty simple and it could be pretty easy.
Gotcha.
For developers. And same for the testers. So for the testers, they have a public URL. Once something is committed, they can go to the branch, they can start testing, and then they can supply their feedback to the developer. So the same flow goes all around.
Okay, so end users, for example, that are testing the software, they don't need to enter to Odoo.sh. They can just go to the public URL that you're sharing with them, and they can work from there.
Yep.
Okay.
Or if, let's say, if you're worried about the security and you don't wanna give access to the public URL, you can grant. Of course, you can go to the settings and you can grant them a
private
collaborator user access right.
Oh, okay.
That way they can go to the branch and they can go to the build section and they can connect to their build. Same as you go to runbot.odoo.com. It's just that we are suffering from internet problem right now. But yeah, you sure can do that.
Okay. Great,
every different user has a different access right. And I mean, it will also prepare an URL. You can have a public URL and you can start accessing the public URLs as well. So there's a lot of different flexibility and a lot of different usability tools, a lot of different accessibility tools that can be useful for every stage of the project management. So as I just demonstrated, like how you can create a module. Let's say then you are working on this module, and then you are you made changes, and then you have another next version of the module, right?
Yes.
So you just go to Open Academy, and then you modify your manifest file, and in a manifest file you just say, okay, this is 0.01. Right? When you do change your version number, right, and when you commit your version number, what happens is Odoo will automatically make if it's existing database, right? In an existing database, it will automatically will update it module. If you change a version name, Odoo will automatically will update a module into staging branch. Or if it's a production, it does the same. The module will be automatically updated because there is a new version now. Because you decided to change a version name. If you do not change a version name, then it will run the same piece of code on a new build. But then you have to manually go there and update it. Click on update apps.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the change that you have to go. So you say, okay, a new version, and then you just I'm just pushing my changes. Right, so my changes, the new version changes are live. My changes are up there. Let me see if my internet situation, my internet is resolved now. So, right, so as you could see, I committed new version like seconds ago, right? And it's already building it.
Okay.
So it
Awesome.
works, it's in real time, it works super fast, and it just facilitates the whole tool as a complete tool for project management.
For project management.
Which includes project
and
managers, developers, testers, end users, and system admin part as well.
So it's not only about the hosting, because a lot of people think that this is only a platform for managing the hosting, but it's also for the whole project management.
Exactly,
right?
yeah. So let's say when you sign up some project with your customer, you can have your own branches, you can have multiple branches working in the parallel, you can have multiple features getting developed in the parallel, and then you can merge those features into one branch, and that branch goes into staging, which is a duplicate of the production environment, where you can really test your module with the live data, because staging is a duplicate of the production always.
Okay.
So that's how you do, right? And let's say now this is the branch, and this branch was a development branch, but now I want to use this branch as a staging branch, right? Then you just take this branch and you just put it into staging.
Staging. Right.
And my branch will move to the staging. And as you know, the staging is a duplicate of the production. So what it will do is it will make a duplicate of this production environment with the live data.
Oh, okay.
So you have live data available for testing right away.
But it's going to be like a merge between the new staging and the production?
No, it doesn't merge.
Oh, it doesn't.
Because staging branch has its own piece of code. So it runs the production database, copy of the production database with the piece of code that is in the staging branch. So this is how this will work is developers will work an XYZ feature, you merge that into staging. So staging will have XYZ feature with the live data from the production.
Okay.
Once everything goes good, you just take this branch and then you can just merge into production. And you just deploy the changes into production.
Then you deploy the changes to production.
Exactly. So it's pretty. We do not need to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah,
the wheel is already invented.
It's the same flow that you normally follow for developing a project in a local environment, right?
Exactly. So we are not reinventing the wheel when we have to do the development process. We are just following the traditional project management approach over here. This tool is 100% aligned with that thing, right? The project management thing.
Yes, definitely.
So it makes everything super easy for everybody. In turn, right?
Great.
Right. So once you have all of, let's say I have production branch, I have staging branch, and I have development branch. So once I connect to the production, let's say as a tester in this staging branch, I want to connect, right? So let me add you as a tester on my staging database. So let's say you are a tester and I want to grant you, there's a user, right? So let's say there's a user over here, which I would like to use. I'll just add a demo user. So there's a demo user, and then I'm adding a demo user with a employee access right and access right. So there are two users right now, which has a two access. Now you want your tester, right, to test the system as a different user, right? So what your testers or what your system admin can do is when can click here and connect as, and this gives a list of all existing users in the system. So you can connect as in some users in the system. So testers can go in there and can test the whole flow as a different users. So let's say there's a purchase manager, purchase user, there's a sales manager, sales user. So there could be different access right user, and the testers could go in and test system with a different access level. And same goes for a system admin actually. So system admins can, if there's certain bug, then system admin can log into the database with any users who is complaining about the problem. He can log in at that user and he can help troubleshoot that problem. So that's how you can impersonate the users as in system administration. And then this access right is available to the only this particular setup. Impersonation setup is available for only collaborator user who has admin access. Users cannot impersonate for the of course security reasons. So this platform is very sensitive in the sense that when you share your access with somebody, right, you want to make sure that you don't share all kind of access with everybody.
Yes.
Because you might expose the things that you don't want to expose. So that's why I'm explaining every single things here in detail so that you understand it correctly before you accidentally do something that is unexpected or that is not supposed to be done.
Yeah, that's one of the concerns that some of the customers have expressed to us when they are allowing or they are granting permissions to GitHub to share data and to control the access to their own repositories.
Right.
Sometimes they are concerned because they think that they're going to be publishing their repository to other people using SH, but that's not going to happen.
That's
right?
not going to happen because this is a private repository. The person who has SH access is not necessarily will have access to the github.com.
Exactly.
Those two are maintained separately. If you want somebody to have a GitHub access to your repository, so let's say this is my production, right? And to this GitHub repository, I want to have access right to somebody, right? I can explicitly go to the settings and I can add collaborators.
Okay.
That is separate from SH. SH collaborators are the only collaborator for the platform itself.
For the platform.
It does not. The collaborators are not directly added on your GitHub.com. GitHub. So you can grant, like testers may have access to the system as an admin because they want to test something, while developers may not have access to Odoo.sh. They will have access to the GitHub only. They just commit everything and they have public run bot and they just go and connect to public run bot, right?
Okay.
So this can be very, very useful tool, and this can be managed very easily.
Okay.
Right. So that's how you can do it. Now let's talk about submodules. So let's say in my Open Academy module, my Open Academy module is ready, and now I want to test this OCA website. I want to have this feature, these modules, I want to test them, right? So it's pretty simple. You just go to your branch, right? Go to submodules, run submodule. It asks for the GitHub repository. So you go to GitHub repository, say use HTTP, copy this part, just click here or just copy whatever way you feel good, and then you just paste that down here.
Okay.
And I need to use SSH, so I need to use this.
Okay.
I cannot use HTTP, so I use SSH, and it will automatically pull the version. It will automatically pull the branches that they already have. So if I go to their OCA branches, right, they have different branches. They have 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So what branch do I want to use? I want to use version 10, and this is the path in your repository. So when you
version
add
11, sir.
Yeah. So when you add a path, what happens is in your GitHub repository, Odoo will add a submodule with this path by creating a directory. So when I click add submodule, what will happen is in my master branch, so if I were to go to my Open Academy, if I were to go to my master branch, in my master branch, as you can see, that the OCA is added with the submodule to OCA directly.
Okay.
Right? And my development branch will start building with the submodule OCA.
Oh, great.
So you can have the module that is hosted by different community provider very easy in matter of seconds just by clicking just click submodule and bring the submodule, and you can start testing it if
Perfect.
it's open source. If it's a private, not to worry, you just need to have access to the repository.
Yes.
As long as you have access, you will be able to link them.
Okay.
So that's how you can bring. So if you are system admin, I mean if you are a project manager and if you want to have submodule, you can have submodule, and you can test someone else's module in a matter of seconds just like that. And submodules for your production can also be added down here. So you can add submodules for your production right here as well. So once this is finished building, I will have now access to my community apps.
Okay.
Right, and then those are the different access that you can have. So testers can have access to the system, they can impersonate, they can access the system whatever as a different user, and they can validate, they can test the system thoroughly if they wish to test the system thoroughly. Developers can continue developing. They have access to development branch, and they commit to the development branch, which will appear down here, and development branch will continuously keep committing and keep integrating down here, which is same as our runboard mechanism that we already have. If you go to runboard, this is a continuous development environment that is for our Odoo project itself. Same way, you will have a continuous development environment for yourself that is just belonging to your project. So this is your own private SH runboard that you will have. And so this is about how project managers, how testers, and how developers will use the system. Then there's a part of system admin. So when it comes to system admin, you can monitor your infrastructure by going into status tab. Status tab has infrastructure detail. You can monitor your infrastructure down here, like what is my uptime, what is my internet speed, and so on and so forth. That's the infrastructure part of it. The other part of is let's say let's say you want to have backup. So Odoo does take a backup. There are continuous backup. So let me open up the project that I already have, which already have a lot of backup. So let me open my existing project that I have been running from weeks now. So if I go to my existing projects, in my existing project, I will see there are a lot of backups and their timestamps. So we do take backup every day, and that will be maintained for 3 months, which can also be found in our. You can go to odoo.com/page/security and odoo.com/page/Odoo online SLA, and then you can have you can see the same thing. If I go to my odoo.com SLA agreement, under SLA agreement, I will have backup policy that explains how do we maintain a backup. So this is the backup that we do. So for system admins, they don't have to worry about the backup. Let's say something goes wrong, this time something goes wrong and I want older backup, I can just click restore and I can have older backup restored immediately on my production if I want to have past backup to be restored on my database. Now let's say you are already Odoo online user, right? And you already have Odoo SaaS that you're using, and you want to move to Odoo.sh, right?
Yes.
So it is actually pretty easy. You can do in a matter of minutes. You start your Odoo.sh the way we started in the morning when we started the presentation. You go to Odoo.sh, you start sh, create a production branch, then go to the SaaS. From the SaaS, it will let you do the backup from my databases.
Yes.
So get the backup and just import your backup right here. Just click import backup, choose a file, and bring your backup. So in few seconds, you can move from your SaaS to PaaS. So if there's a customer who just bought SH and don't know like how do I start my SH, just rewind this whole thing. Create a new project, create a new production branch, move your production branch to the production stage. Take a backup from your Odoo.SaaS and put it on the SH and choose your new URL and call your sales. Make sure notify your account manager that I don't want to use the old URL, so they deregister your current SaaS database, so that way you don't pay twice.
Exactly.
So it's pretty simple process.
And what about moving from Odoo on-premise?
It's the same process. You take a backup. You create a GitHub repository, commit your module all on the GitHub repository, take a backup, start Odoo.sh the way we just started.
Yes.
Make sure your all modules that you're using on enterprise on-premise is committed onto GitHub in the production branch, and just restore the way we go to /web/database/manager, take a backup and import it right here, and you are on the SH. Yeah. And make sure once you do that, you stop the production onto your enterprise server, local server, so that both database will basically not charge twice.
Yes. But maybe in this point is good to clarify or people attending this webinar that probably you will need to transform the contract that you already have, because if it's a contract in the old template that we used to have for the old pricing structure, you may have some issues when In regards to the contract, right? When trying to migrate from enterprise or from on-premise to Odoo.sh. So I can recommend that you need to get in contact with your account manager just to verify if your contract is ready to be moved to Odoo.sh if you want to do so, right?
Yeah.
So of course you can remain in Odoo on-premise if you want, but if you think that this environment could be good for you, you just need to go and talk with your account manager to verify that.
Make sure that you have Odoo.sh added to your contract, and that way you make sure that you are ready to start.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Right. So that's the infrastructure. That's how you can get a backup. You can have, and of course, the production. And as I explained earlier, only production and staging will have the backup. Development branches do not have backup for the obvious reason that development is an ongoing thing. So those are the different branches and different meaning of different branches, usage of different branches. And for system admin, you also have a shell. So what is shell? You can have a direct access to your code. So for example, let's say if you want to, now a lot of people are asking, like, can we access to our database directly into Odoo.sh? Answer is yes. You can go to your web shell, you just say PSQL, and you connect to your databases.
Wow.
Right? And you say, you can start like shooting your queries. Like I can say. But
you need to do that directly from the shell tool that we have integrated, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of people are asking if they can use like another tool from the outside, like a pgadmin or something like that, to connect to their database in Odoo.sh.
As of now, we don't have. Don't have a way to do that. But again, we are looking into how SSH tunnel possibility from your local machine to the remote
to do those kind of interactions.
So that's not available right now, but again, it's in a future roadmap that can be.
And actually, it has some implications for security.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
so,
of course,
that's not pretty simple to
a lot of users are not aware when they connect to the Postgres. They are not aware what they are doing, and they may accidentally bypass the whole persistent layer of the framework, and they may screw up the database.
Exactly.
And we don't want that to happen.
Yes,
we want to make sure that data is secure, safe. Of course, we are taking a lot of backup. We are taking a lot of measure to do so, but we still want to make sure that these things are kept safe.
It's safe. Yes.
So if you want to access your Postgres, you definitely can access your Postgres from your container. You have access to the outside internet. Using command line CLI utility only, so you can use the CLI utility to access to outside world. From your SSL, if you want to make a tunnel to the external server, you can do tunnel to external server, but you cannot do other way around as of now. So from here, you can connect to another SSH server if you wish to.
Okay.
So that's your web shell, and of course this has a directory called logs, where your live logs of usage will go on. So if I want to tail something, I can tail it over here, or you can of course go to the log tab, and in the log tab you have Odoo logs, which are ongoing log of current usage of the system. So when I start using this, and let's say if I connect to this branch, if I wish to connect to this branch, if I connect this branch, if I go back and if I go to the log. In my Odoo log, as you can see, this is my log with IP address and everything that this is getting access right now. So this is how we do. And this is how you access the system, and this is how system admin can use these tools to troubleshoot some problem if there are certain problems, right? And there could be another very important thing that is important, that as an system admin, if I want to use external Python dependency, can I use the external Python dependency in my Odoo.sh? Can I install Python external dependency? The straight answer is yes, but you cannot use directly command line pip, or you cannot use a Debian package direct installation using pip or something. Rather, what you need to do is you need to go to your repository. So go to your repository, and in your repository create a new file called requirement.txt. And in the requirement.txt, just put your PyPI module name. Just put your module name over here, and then Odoo.sh will automatically install those dependency for you when your branch is installed. An example, the prime example of requirement.txt is you can go to github.com/odoo/odoo, and there is already requirement.txt. This is one example of requirement.txt. So same way, you can include the requirement.txt in your project if you were to have external dependency of a Python package in your module. So this enables like infinite possibility. As of now, as I said, we do not have a PIP way of installing a module, so you cannot pipe the module, you cannot pipe install the module, or you cannot use you cannot use a Debian package install module.
Okay.
You just have to use a requirement.txt. But again, as I said, this is we are in the beginning of this is just a beginning. I mean, we are just starting the journey, and
Okay.
we have a huge roadmap. So in moving forward, we will have the framework improved, and we'll have all those possibility added.
Okay.
That's for sure. So that is in a nutshell. That's the whole SH system. That's how that's the usage of the whole system. One thing that I want to say before we move to Q&A, that if you somehow accidentally, if you drop your production branch, right, what will be the result of that, right?
Yes.
So this is the worst. This is the thing that you don't want to do. So when you do this, what it will do is it will ask for confirmation. Do you really want to do that? And if you really do that, what it will do is you will lose your production and your staging branches right away.
Okay.
You cannot have staging branches if you do not have a production branch.
Production database.
So you have to have a production branch to have a staging branch. Reason: staging is a duplicate of the production.
Okay.
So that's why you have to have staging branches, production branch to have staging. And the moment you delete the production branch, well, you lose the database.
The database. Okay.
And then you
And
lose.
basically, you have to
lose
start
everything.
over.
Yeah, you have to start over. You lose everything.
Okay.
Of course, I mean, if you request our team will have a backup of this somewhere. In a worst case, you can get a backup, but you have to
It
write
can
an
take some
email,
time
and
to
yeah,
get
it will
that.
take a time
Exactly.
to get a backup, which is obvious process because you did something that is not supposed to do.
Of course.
Not
of
supposed to be
course.
done. So you want to make sure that system admin exercise is not given to everybody. Just
Exactly.
like that, right? Because
Exactly, because
some novice user don't know how to use the system, may screw up.
Yes.
Or you want to do the good user training before you grant a correct access right to the user.
Definitely.
And that's what we just did. We just added all those training parts that were missing and that was required, explaining how to use the system.
Okay. Perfect.
Or this video can also be, used for the same purpose. Right. So that's the whole system in a nutshell, and that's how it brings all different project management users in on one package, and it offers everything.
Okay.
So let's see if we have some Q&A, and we'll take some questions before we.
Yes,
close.
we have some questions that I have here. First of all, I want to thank a lot of people from Odoo that have been participating very actively, including
wow.
our CEO, Fabian.
Oh, great.
He has been connected, answering a lot of questions here. Some of the questions that I already have, maybe some of them have been already elaborated a little bit with from Fabian or from other people at the company, but maybe you can dig a little bit more.
All right.
For example, I wrote a custom MRP system. Can I integrate to Odoo Cloud? That's Alfonso Bonilla. I'm not sure if Odoo Cloud he means Odoo Online or it means Odoo.sh. But in case it's referred to Odoo.sh, it's something that you already cover, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you are talking about Odoo.sh, if you create those applications in Odoo, can I host them? Yes, you can host them. If that is MPA, that is whatever system he created is a standalone system, and if he's hosting this system somewhere, and if he wants to do the API integration with Odoo, of course, that is also possible. That is, he can use the regular web services to do so. So that is quite possible.
Okay. I have another question here. It is possible to set breakpoints and watch views to monitor variables values change?
I mean, it is possible, but it can be it is a little complex. You can put a breakpoint, then you can go to web shell, and in the web shell you can have breakpoint triggered, and then you can monitor your thing. So essentially you can commit a breakpoint, and then you can go to your web shell. So you can go to web shell, and then you can trigger that point over here. So you can start, but it can be very complex as of now. There is no straight way of doing this. All this thing has to be done locally if you want to do extensive debugging of the system.
Okay.
But again, this is very interesting feedback, and we want you to go to send a feedback section and send a feedback, that because we sure want to include this into future roadmap.
Okay, I have another question, but this I probably will take care of it. Could you explain any about license? Well, in this particular case, license, well, Odoo.sh, it's a platform who is intended to host and develop, to be a hosting platform for developing over Odoo enterprise instance. So it's intended to be a platform for developing a project of Odoo Enterprise. So that means that it will require definitely a Odoo Enterprise license. So, and if you are working with a partner, the partner can help you to get that license and also to get the access to the Odoo.sh. And if you're trying to do this by your own, or maybe if you have your own staff, you just need to make sure that the license that you are acquiring also includes the Odoo.sh access. We have two different type of access. One is the or two different type of Odoo.sh service levels. One is what we call the professional service level for Odoo.sh, which is the containers working in a shared environment. And of course, that is like the standard service or the standard version of Odoo.sh. It has a price of $180 per month. And we also have what we call the dedicated server. That means that all the containers will be running in a dedicated server created only for you. All the resource in terms of hardware and software will be dedicated for your own use. In that instance, that is a more complex environment, and we need to, in order to set a quote for that environment, we need to understand a little bit more about your requirements, how many users you will require, how many storage and memory and hardware resources you will require in order to give you a price for that. So so you need to get in contact with your account manager to discuss a little bit more about your project, and based on that we can define which is the right environment for you and the license that you need to have in order to have this access.
And yeah, actually you bring up a really good point down here that which I forgot to explain that when you get Odoo.sh regular, right, you are running in a shared environment.
Exactly.
So there's a huge server, right, and huge server has different cabins, which are different containers. In a non-technical term, they are cabins, right?
Yes.
And when you build something, the people are doing things for you in there when you do something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the piece of code is running in that room. And that is shared in the whole building, right?
Exactly.
Because you bought Odoo.sh, which is a regular, you get a room in a whole building,
Mm-hmm.
which is shared and where the resources are working, and it has limitations that we cannot have more than 50 users running at the same time in the shared environment, or if your database size increases more than 4 gigabytes, then we cannot keep you on that shared environment.
Yes.
Because your usage is exceeding and you need to own the whole building. You don't need to have the cabin.
Exactly.
Because your requirement availability
exceeds what we can.
Yeah, we cannot
give.
fit you in the same building right now. Now
Mhm.
you need to get whole building of yourself, which is dedicated SH that you say that we will offer them dedicated SH, which is not shared between anything. The whole floor is yours, and you can optimize it to, you can take it to the new level.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. There's a lot of questions. For example, we have one question with ITpedia Solutions, but also we were receiving these questions from a lot of users in regards to integration with other Git platforms, right? And they were using, for example, a lot of people saying we use GitLab. Can you prioritize a little bit about GitLab integration? How do you see that?
I mean that I see that can be done, and it could be very important. It adds a lot of value. So for sure, I mean, I will send a feedback to the right team, and we'll ask them to see that this is the demand. And
but do you think that, for example, a temporary solution for customers who have that type of scenarios? I understand that there's some tools that allows you to integrate GitHub with GitLab.
Yeah, I mean, there could be certain tool. I'm not 100% sure, but if there's some certain tool, then of course they can write those tools will auto integrate the code between platforms and so.
Mm-hmm.
So as of now, that's a GitHub.com, but I sure see the value adding GitLabs or Bitbucket or probably, let's say, Launchpad or something like that.
Yes.
I definitely see the value, and we are looking forward to that already. I mean, those I think that is the most asked question so far by everybody in my experience since the Odoo experience. So I'm sure that they're already working on this, or there might be something going on. But I'll make sure to send that feedback as well.
Okay, Jerome was asking, and I'm sure that Fabian already took care a little bit of those these questions, but I will put it to you just to see if you can elaborate a little bit more. What happens to existing production data and install models when you merge from staging to production?
When you do that, nothing happens to your current data, your current module and current data stays as it is. What it will take is it will take this piece of code, right, and it will start your production instance with the new piece of code from staging to the production. Now, as I said, if you change a version name, right, if you put a new version name in your custom module, then it will update module automatically.
Okay.
So, I mean, same process will happen when you move from production to the staging. So same testing will happen. So if something may go wrong, you wanna take care when it happens from when you do from development to the staging.
To the staging.
And when everything goes wrong, your module is complete. Then you wanna do the production. But when you move your data from staging to production, it does not affect your data.
Okay.
Unless you wrote some crazy module which is intentionally meant to break something, then we cannot prevent it, which is user mistake. But if it's a legit module and if it's written correctly with the right core conventions and everything, it does not affect your data.
Gotcha. Another interesting question that I often see this question coming from our customers as well is from Jerome in this case. Do we get any control over hardware performance, like for example adding RAM, buy more CPU power, those kind of things?
I mean,
is this possible to
they cannot do by themselves. The one thing that I want to also explain that is, if you go to, just to answer this question, if you go to your Odoo.sh, in your Odoo.sh you have on your user profile, you have two kind of a connect support. When you connect support, so when you have functional problem regarding your system, you say, oh, I was using this, how do I use a sales, or I don't know how to use a sales. I mean, I was using sales and I faced this problem, and say this is the problem, how do I solve this, or those kind of questions will go here, right?
Yes.
Or then there's a second kind of a feedback, which is standard feedback. Standard feedback is, let's say, there's really bad performance problem that you're facing, right?
Yes.
Then what I advise is take a timestamp, the moment this happened, notice the time, right? And click on standard feedback and send a feedback.
Okay.
Send your feedback with as much information as you have, with a timestamp, and this is what happened, probably some videos or something.
And who will be taking care of that feedback?
So this is the platform team that is working on SH itself directly.
Perfect.
So they will be taking care of it. So if that is the situation, the way he's explaining, if there is so they do not have, the answer is they do not have direct access to the controlling of your infrastructure, like RAMs or workers or something like that. But if they send email to the team with the correct explanation of what is going on, the team will take care of that.
So probably the team will add more resource to the
if it's required,
to that specific project in order to improve the performance, right?
But again, if they're exceeding their limit,
yes,
then we cannot do anything, because that's you are exceeding your limit, and now you are supposed to have dedicated SH, where probably they will have access to everything, because they get their own dedicated SH. That means they will have access to everything.
Yes. In that case, for example, if you are getting to the point in which Odoo professional environment is not enough for you, you will get the option of be migrated to a dedicated server. Of course, you will have to analyze if the cost is good for you, or of course you can take your database and take it to an on-premise.
I mean, definitely. I mean, right? if you're not happy with Odoo.sh, and if you feel that this is not up to my mark, any moment you have, because you're under enterprise contract, you have backup. You take a backup and you can move to enterprise. I mean, that's for sure it's
another option that you can take, right?
Yep. But I mean, I don't see, if you do not have a sufficient team of infrastructure manager, Postgres expert, Nginx expert. If you do not have those teams, then this can be nightmare. This can be nightmare, because it requires ERP platform itself requires a lot of maintenance, and you need those experts to maintain it.
Exactly.
So
infrastructure is
you do not want to underestimate a lot of dragon that is sitting behind the whole curtains.
Yes. All this system is going to be working in an infrastructure, and you need to take care of that infrastructure. And the management of that infrastructure can be very complex.
It can
if you
be
don't
very
have the specialists for this.
Exactly.
This kind of works.
And here we do take care of everything for them. I mean, we take care of performance, we take care of managing Postgres, everything.
Okay.
Let's take care.
Last question that I got here is Ivan is asking, every time we rebuild this production instance, does Odoo.sh take take the latest version of Odoo, can we lock the version of Odoo used in production?
No. Every time you rebuild the production, it does not take a latest copy of the production. It only runs the copy that you have.
Oh.
But our maintenance team, every once in a while, they update the code. Every certain interval, not even once in a while, but every certain defined interval, they would update the source code.
Okay.
If they want to be frozen into time the certain version of the code, again you gotta go to dedicated SH, because you are in a shared environment of the platform.
So
you get
we're
the
gonna
same
be-
treatment.
Exactly. We're going to be managing the same update for all the containers
whole
in
server,
the same
yeah.
server.
If you want to stay on a particular version of Odoo, a particular like commit version of the Odoo, go to dedicated SH and you can keep running that code forever, because it's your own environment and you are not shared with anybody.
But those type of updates can affect in some way if you have custom models.
I mean, depends. I mean, there could be a lot of cases that this might be a requirement that they have certain patch applied.
Mhm.
They have patch in the whole community. They have patch into Odoo itself.
Yes.
They have patch Odoo badly.
In the master branch.
Yeah, in the master or into enterprise branch or somewhere, anywhere. They have patched the whole Odoo itself.
Okay.
And they're afraid of moving forward, and they don't want to they don't want to take that risk, and they want to stay over there because they're happy with this now. So they might want to stay over there. That means there is also a disadvantage that you do not get the feature fixes.
Okay. Okay. Well, I think we're running out of time, but
Yeah.
thank you, Jigar, for this presentation. Thanks everyone for attending. Don't forget to click like if you found this video helpful.
Yep.
And of course, we want you to subscribe to these channels for access to a lot of videos that we have published here. And of course, a lot of other resources that could be very useful for your business management and of course, for implementing Odoo as a software for your business. As always, if you have further questions or if you want to suggest another topic to cover, feel free to send your feedback to webinars@odoo.com, and we'll make sure that your answers to any question will be covered. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and of course, if you want to see more videos like this. Thanks all for joining us today, today's sessions. This is Odoo Live, and have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.